Stream should be up. Can I get a mic check really quick?
Check.
All right, sweet. Okay, cool. Stream's up. So let's go through. Let's go through today's moves. Let's go through some of the trades that you guys took and update potential or update positions that we're currently in, and then end the session here with some scans and some potential trades that we take as a group. So I'm going to go ahead and start off by asking you guys. Let's go through trades that we took today first. So I know that Alex is not here right now. I think he's in class, and that's fine. He took an AMD put. So pull that up really quick and post the chart so everyone can see it. He's not here, so we're not going to go through it in depth, but AMD in the Discord there posted. I'm assuming he took it off the 88.5 area pivot down to the, I don't know what his price target was, but probably somewhere around 84.50-ish. And we had a, let's see, more than one ADR move, so it makes sense that we rebounded off the floor there. Nice trade. Not sure if he's still holding it. But we can go through Vin's NVIDIA trade here. We're talking about semiconductors in particular last night. Most of them looked terrible. NVIDIA was the one that really stood out, in my mind at least. Vin took NVIDIA off of that 15690 break, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 15690. Charts up on the stream. I'm going to go ahead and post it. Actually, let me go ahead and make an entry exactly where Vin got in, just so everyone's aware. 15690. And go ahead, Vin, if you want to type it out, or you can talk if you'd like. He closed, I think, a majority of the position up 45%, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what he said. And you have a runner still on the books. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Cool. Okay, so bounced off the 152 ATR. So that's something that we actually were talking about yesterday, that ATR figure. So everyone's fully aware. Remember, ATR is a specific dollar amount, whereas ADR is a percentage. Both of them work well, but they are calculated differently. So NVIDIA did move a full ADR. It moved around 5.35% from peak to trough. Normal ADR of 4.36, so NVIDIA made a larger than usual move. RSI is below the 50. 0.77 RVol heading into power hour. This thing has a shot at closing just at about 1 RVol, potentially right above it, depending on whether or not the market forces volume at the end of the day. Yeah, good trade, Vin. What's your ultimate PT? Your finish line there? Do you have one? $149 target, perfect. Let me go ahead and put that on the chart too, just so everyone can keep up with that. 149. Okay. Repost the chart one more time just so we have it in chat. Sweet. Okay. Good job, man. We see a Wednesday morning flush off this. You could probably hit your PT tomorrow given the ADR here. We close somewhere around this 154 area. One full ADR to the downside tomorrow would put you somewhere sub 149, 147.50-ish potentially. We'll see. That's obviously optimistic, but okay, cool. I think those. Did anybody else take any other trades? I know there were a couple guys that took OXY to the upside today on a pullback, XOM to the upside on a pullback. Today's a pullback day. If it's not a pullback day and we do flush again tomorrow, the people that opened up their positions today are going to be able to get out with a minor loss. The people that are continuing to hold those positions are obviously going to be in a slightly different situation. So we'll figure out what's going on. Unfortunately, we're going to have to wait until tomorrow, but I'm going to go ahead and post the U.S. oil chart right here. We talked about it about an hour ago. I posed the question, is this fractal invalidated? And we had mixed answers, which is good. I think it's healthy to have objections and to continue to remain objective. To me, It's not rejected yet, but Mike said it was, and I think both of them are valid. This is still a series of higher highs, and therefore, until we essentially bounce and fail to break 96.5, I still think this is an uptrend that is forming, and it's early. We're basing around the 50 RSI, but I think this is also a critical moment where we could begin to establish a very large downtrend with the $96 reject as the area to have opened shorts. So I think that this is a critical moment on the US oil chart from a technical perspective. This is an SR flip, right? Mike had talked about this. He's had this level here going back to February, not September, February, this $95, $96 area. Yesterday's session, we looked at it and we go, listen, it looks like we're going to break above it. This is now a support resistance flip back into a support, right? So we went from support, broke down May, June, July-ish time frame, based underneath it. Now we're testing it from the underside. It would make sense from a technical perspective to hold as resistance, but as of yesterday, we expected this to break out. Look what happened today. I don't think that this is the end of it, but it could be the beginning of a bigger move to the downside. If we're being completely objective and we're just simply looking at the chart, we understand how these levels work. This is a reject off of a potential breakout. So it's important to remain objective and to not let your biases, just because, for example, if you took longs, you don't want to be intoxicated with those longs. It's important to have conviction, don't get me wrong, but you want to stay objective. For me, I don't think the move is over, but I could be wrong. Right now, the market is showing extreme weakness. Third day, down day in a row, led by the Qs. Qs are down 0.91, SPY down 0.84. We had some major flush outs today. I think right now, sector-wise, energy is down the most. It's still down around 3.42%. Followed by materials down 1.19, industrials 1.10, utilities, the entire market is down. The only market that is clawed, or the sector that is the only sector that is clawed anything back into respectable range is finance. And a few of the largest finance names are actually green. Wells Fargo is green on the day, JP Morgan's green on the day, Bank of America's green on the day. Which would make sense in a world where you expect banks to be popping off of potential rate increases, right? So that part makes sense, but financials are not an opportunity right now. I don't think they're in a place that merits any longs. I'm gonna go ahead and double check that before I stamp off my disapproval. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be long until we're above 36 bucks. We were thinking about flirting with it 2 weeks ago. We never broke. I'll go ahead and post the chart. Unless we're above those May and June highs, there's no point in being long. There's nothing there from a swing trading perspective, at least. We rejected off of the exact same level we rejected off of May and June. For me, that's just a failed breakout. So I don't want to be long financials. KRE, the only industry that's green on the day. Miner up 0.02, so legitimately miner up. IGV coming back, only down 0.17 now, so did claw its way back up. Energy is down the most, makes sense from an industry standpoint, as the energy sector is down the most today. Also metals and mining. XME, or metals and mining industries, are bopped at 4.21% to the downside. That's going to have a detrimental effect to a few positions. I know you guys closed them out early in the session, but BTU is one of them. That's a coal name. That's an XME related name. That got hit hard. NUE, which is a steel related name, that got hit hard. Commodities got hit today. Let's look really quick at the DXY. We were flirting once again with 109 today. We did not. Doesn't look like we're going to close up there. This is the 6th trading session in a row where we have consolidated near or underneath the 109 area. This is an extended period of time to not be able to break above or below. RSI, for all intents and purposes, basing above the 50, oscillating between the 100 and the 50. So this is still technically, in my mind, a bullish momentum regime. not the nicest price action, I would still expect DXY to break to the upside off of this, building a base above previous 20-year highs. Looking at different tickers really quick just to get a general idea. Anything stand out here? Tesla down 2.65%. Tesla looks a lot like every other growth name, to be honest with you. Amazon down, McDonald's down, Nike slight up for whatever reason. FCX is another XME related name that got bought today, down 5.25%. That's a copper. So now we have copper, coal, and steel, all big moves to the downside. Okay, so nothing's really changed since we broke for lunch. So let's go ahead and scan for some 50-day lows, and we'll see if anything pops up. You guys hear the megaphone in the background from me? It's like a guy that drives around in a truck with a megaphone and he screams like, "I want to buy your broken electronics," and he drives at like 1 mile per hour up and down every street. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. $137 names, average volume over 1 million, 50-day lows, optionable and shortable. Start there. Look at all of the gold miners hitting 50-day lows. We saw that earlier today. We're not short anything related to GDX or Silv, but GDX hit a new low again today. I'm going to actually go ahead and circumvent all of these gold charts because they're all just trash. We're not going to be shorting anything that's $2, and a majority of these are just not great looking. We took NEM as a short earlier this year. I don't know how much more meat is left on the bones from this move, but this is down 50-day lows. They killed Newmont, man. Newmont in April was an $86 stock, and here it is a $42 stock. 50% gone in 132 days-ish. That is incredible. I saw this chart yesterday when we were going through our strategy session. We're not shorting this, but I'm going to post it just because I don't know what the hell's going on, and it might be a cool story to read up on. But CLAR, Claris Corp. It's an XLY related name. No idea what's going on with that, but check out the moves. Last 3 sessions, this stock's down 37%. I'm pretty sure, at least from the eye test, this went from a decent sized mid cap to a small cap. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Vin. Seriously. I don't buy into any of the narratives. That's a superpower we have in here, and it's a superpower to being a technical trader. Is everybody has a narrative, but if price isn't validating that narrative, how useful is it? Right? Like, but I agree with you. Commodities being an inflation play would make total sense. It makes sense because majority of the world uses dollars to buy those commodities. The DXY is rising. Like, it's just, you would expect people to be buying dollars to buy commodities, and they're not. So it's just, I don't know. It's a weird relationship. But thankfully for us, we got guys with suits and ties that get paid to be wrong all year long, telling us why things aren't happening the way they're supposed to. A lot of the names that were on the 50-day low and the 20-day low charts yesterday are once again there, so continued pressure to the downside on a lot of the names that are already being beat to shit. That's going to be on the list, Tattered. You're absolutely right. The only thing I don't like about shorting something like ZUO is that it's sub $20. And so if you're trading options, for example, buying strikes sub $10, you're going to get $2.50 increments usually. But those are going to be 25 to 40% moves. So if you're thinking about it from a dollar perspective, if you go, this is a $10 stock, I'm going to buy a $7.50 put, it's only a $2.50 move. Like, that's not that much. But then you think about it from a percentage standpoint, and you're essentially saying that, you know, you need 25% to get near in the money. And then it stops making as much sense. Because that's usually not a normal move. So we try to avoid shorting things like ZUO because there's just not enough meat to play. That sounds really, really bad. There's not enough price action to play. Okay, Josh got filled on the OXY pullback. We will see. I mean, Buffett's buying, right? Buffett is buying up toward, at least he was approved to buy up towards 50% of Occidental. But I don't think you understand the power of Josh's longs. Yeah.
You guys are all able to make some money in those shorts. I'm telling you right now.
You should do what Mike does and just don't tell people when you enter positions until you're already up 100%. The last like 4 or 5 positions Mike has taken, he hasn't said anything because he's like, I don't want to make people feel bad, but I'm in this with him.
Yeah, I think I'll probably do that from now on. We'll see how this one goes.
I'm going through all these charts, and most of these charts just, they fucking suck. Like, they're already dead. Like, these, there's so many stocks that were originally, you know, I'm looking at like $40 stocks that are now $4. Like, yeah, great, they're down to 50-day lows, but unless this, you know, WeWork is trading at $4. That's incredible to me. Starbulk. Here's a name that we traded twice this year. One time was very profitable. The second time I think was a minor loss for me. Might have been profitable for some of you. Starbulk has fallen off a fucking cliff. We were trading this thing when it was a $25, $35 stock. It's now $19. And over the last like 5 trading sessions, it's come down 22%. Bumble giving a little rounded top, horizontal level break. 25.80, currently 25.23. Go ahead and post this. Tech related name, IGV. Yeah, I don't trade Snapchat. I don't win with Snapchat ever. I don't know why. Bumble has some surprising open interest on a few contracts, but I don't know what. I think the price target here would probably be around $20. You can get a 2017 5 put debit spread for $40 right now with a max profit of 210. So you're looking at a more than a 4-to-1 there. Looking at slightly more than a 5-to-1. So Bumble 2017 5 put debit spreads giving you about a 5-to-1 right now. It would make sense to be that $20 price target. $20 puts are also going for about $75, but the IV's up at 80, what is it, 79%. So probably go with the put debit spreads. This is a cheaper play. If you expect software to continue to the downside, this play looks like crap. You're getting a risk on level at the 25.85 area. 25.85, 25.75. This is a low volume breakdown, so would not expect a pullback. RSI has been oscillating sub 50 since prior to August 15th. So yeah, okay, there's a little something here with the Bumble play. Not an A+ setup by any means, but it's cheap. It gets you involved. You have a clear risk on level, and it's short and part of the market where you want to be short right now, which is that software industry. Yeah, Mike has lots of star bulk, but through divs and everything else, you're somehow going to average your way down to like $2 a share in that name. Great time to sell calls, right? Palantir appears to still be sub $10. Palantir might be the funniest stock of all time to me. More so than GameStop and AMC, because GameStop and AMC, you understand the type of person that's trading. Like, you get it. You kind of feel bad for them. They're the people that still think like the earth is flat and stuff. It's fine. But people that own Palantir and expect to become billionaires off of Palantir, like, these are the guys that hold themselves like semi-respectfully. And they're the ones that are like, I'm going to be a die-hard holder of Palantir till the day I fucking die. I'm going to rip those shares out of my dead hands. I'm like, well, it's sub $10, so how do you feel now? Having said that, it is in my long-term portfolio. Okay, that's it. There's not a whole lot of action, actually, surprisingly, at least from a horizontal level breakdown. I'm gonna go ahead and do 20-day lows. There's gonna be too many, 653. I'm gonna throw change from open down, which does shit, 619 names. Price above 20, 391 names. There's a lot of names hitting 20-day lows. Let's go to tech first. Let's do it. Let's look for clean breakdowns, though. We're not just looking just because they're down. Apple's down. We're not going to short Apple right now. There's no opportunity from a horizontal level perspective, so risk remains hard to define. Bumble's on the list. The rounded top gives us a horizontal level to play the breakdown of. Once again, CRM is on the list. We talked about yesterday. We're still not there, though. We're looking for a break below 160, currently at 160.02. We are sub 50 RSI. So once again, CRM not the worst potential idea to short, but think about everything else that's really taken a leg down today. CRM has not. There's a reason why we said it was probably a day or two early to short CRM, and I remain thinking that we're not breaking that horizontal level. There's no point in trying to get involved. For anybody in here that's watching the stream later, it's better to miss a trade than lose money, in my mind. Everything, no real clean breakdowns. So I'm going to move to consumer cyclical. 31 names. For some reason I have some fib levels on Chewy. I have no idea why. I'm going to go ahead and delete the... Oh, I see. Never mind. We had an original trading idea for Chewy that we wanted to potentially buy it above 45, and we never did. That was the right call. Chewy giving us a potential horizontal level break at 37.5. Check the chain here. It's not my favorite. These aren't my favorite setups because there's too much argument on the left-hand side of the chart for me to feel comfortable to really put any size on any of these. But this 37.5 area was a previous support level going back to the beginning of the year. Finally broke down. We hopped up and over it. Here we are testing it again and finding support. So for whatever reason, $37.50. Chewy likes to argue, and it has earnings after hours today. So probably don't want to take this actually. But because I'm talking about it, I'm going to post the chart. Yeah, it makes sense to hold off if you want to wait for a green day. These things are going to get cheaper and cheaper. Thanks, Marcos. Yeah, okay, so that makes sense, right? This level here, obviously, left-hand side was a support. Right-hand side was a support. In the middle, acted as a resistance area. We flipped 37.5. Probability is in your favor to be short more so than long. RSI is below the 50. Earnings are after hours. So don't know if you want to enter in prior to earnings, but let's see what a price target would even be here. Probably that $30 area. 92 IV, so this is definitely a put debit spread. 4-1 on the 30-25 put debit spread. Cost you $100, max profit 400. Got a P50 of 53, so it's not the greatest, and you're heading into earnings, so probably something you would want to avoid. Let's go ahead and avoid Chewy. We call earnings burnings for a reason. Just fucking gamble stupid amounts away, and then you add it up at the end of the year and you realize, wow, I threw away a couple $1,000 for no reason. Look how fast things can change here. Check out this Starbucks trade that Alex was in. I think he ended up making 100 and it was a low triple digit win for Alex on this Starbucks play, if I'm not mistaken. This is how fast the market can change, though. 2 weeks ago, Alex was closing along for 100-something% profit, and now we're back, back where we were a month ago, except on the backside of this move. I don't think this is an opportunity to short Starbucks, but the market is not easy right now. That is for sure. So I went through tech, I went through discretionary, not a whole lot on the discretionary area either. Let's go through comms. We were never looking to short BMY. BMY was something that we had actually taken long when healthcare was showing relative strength, and it never broke out. And now I think BMY is too far gone. I don't know where the risk would be. I think the right time to have shorted BMY is the $72 to $71.50 area. I'll go ahead and post the BMY chart so you see what we're talking about. I don't have the original drawing on BMY because my charts got deleted, but we essentially tried to buy the breakout above 77.50, and we were in green for like 2 trading sessions, and then we got stuck in a nasty range, and now we're on the backside of the move. So there's no opportunity for BMY up at the top. Here's the yeah, thank you, Tattered. That's what we were looking at originally. So we're looking for a breakout up and over, and we got it for like 2 trading sessions, and then we got a pullback. And healthcare, or BMY in particular, decided to just range horizontally, and healthcare wasn't necessarily capitulating, but it wasn't doing anything, and so we got trapped in sideways consolidation. Now, though, I feel like BMY, you want to look for, what we like to look for is just horizontal levels, because there's clear areas of risk on, risk off. I think BMY, that $72 area, 71, 75 makes the most sense. You break that, you go short. I think down here, it's not that BMY can't continue down, but it's where are you wrong if you enter short here, I guess. That would be the right answer. An absolutely sick capitulation move off of yesterday, though, or off of 2 sessions ago. Yesterday was insane for BMY. I think we missed the move on that. And yeah, Tattered, I was there with you, man. I was in the BMY trade. I got stuck. Sometimes that shit happens. BMY was brutal, but I'm gonna sorry to call you out, Callow. I mean it out of jest. Callow took UNH though. I just want you to look at that horizontal level he was playing the breakout of and see what it did. It just did nothing. It did nothing. That's what Callow and I were originally talking about when we were talking about time-based stop loss. He was like, listen, I don't want to do this anymore in regards to UNH. He's like, I need something in my system to tell me if it's not moving, when do I get out? Because being stuck horizontally is almost worse than being stopped out from a move against your position. We were talking about that because if you buy a breakout and you get faked out, you might lose 40-50% of your contract, but you're out within 2 or 3 days. These types of sideways consolidation plays where it's just burning premium every single day, by the time you realize that it's just not going to break out anymore, you're down like 60 or 70% just based off of theta. It sucks. So Callow and I kind of talked through time-based stops in that regard, but UNH is just like BMY, man. We got a slight thrust over a horizontal level, and then healthcare decided it was done. It's fun because you haven't lost yet. I feel like that's like that with everything in life. That's awesome. Communications.
Yeah, I'm scared with futures how I'm scared what the downside really looks like because I haven't lost yet. Like every position I get into has been turning green immediately, so I haven't. Yeah. I also like that we can get out like at any time of the day, pretty much. Whereas with options, you have to wait for the market to open.
Yep, I agree. Have fun. Dustin. So Zoom's another trade we're potentially looking at taking. For whatever reason, it's green on the day, so this is why we try to like wait until these things get breakouts and then pullbacks. In this case, break down and then a pullback. Mindlessly entering these shorts is just throwing cash away for no reason. So Zoom is still on the watch list for a potential short, but we do not want to enter this until we're sub 81, right? Sub 80.50. But Zoom is still there. It's giving us that island fractal. What was the other name we were looking at yesterday that had an island fractal that broke to the downside? What? It wasn't NVIDIA. What was it? Go through the strategy session really quick. I think it was Zoom. Yeah, I think it was Zoom. Okay, so yeah, Zoom idea is still there. It's just not ready. What's the other one we were looking at? I just saw Pfizer. Saw a potential Pfizer. Okay, here we go. I don't know why this didn't pop up on my 50-day low scan. This used to be a cheap play. Let's see if it's still cheap. And I don't know if this is particularly the best setup, but if you want exposure to the downside in healthcare, kind of like that BMY idea, Pfizer is giving, yeah, it is still cheap. So Pfizer's a cheap short. You can grab the 42.5s. They have 2.8K open interest, a 0.23 delta. You can grab those for $81 right now. So if you want short exposure to healthcare, Pfizer's at least giving you a level. 42.5, sub 50. Okay, so sub 50 IV, 32.1. IV rank of 30.2. So you can definitely get away with just buying puts. $78 right now can grab you a 42.5 put with 52 days to expiration. Or there is enough open interest if you want to grab like 1 or 2 contracts. There's only 353 open interest on the 40s. I just want to point that out. But the spread's tight. There's only a 2-penny spread, so you shouldn't be worried about getting filled on those, but still don't load the bank on something with only 350 open interest. Grab 1 or 2 contracts if you want to spread this. If you do want to spread it, the 42.5 40 put debit spread right now is going for $38. Max profit at 212. So very high risk to reward right there. It's a little, probably wouldn't hold that all the way to in the money. It's pretty far away from current price, but from a risk to reward standpoint, a move down towards 42.5, you're going to get some appreciation on those put debit spreads that might make it worth it to you depending on your account balance. So Pfizer's an opportunity there if you want to get short healthcare. PFE in my mind is not an A+ setup. So an A+ setup for me is going to involve sector and industry weakness to the downside if you're looking to short. And if we look really quick, if we look, I'm going to post it. One sec. Well, maybe actually I just, maybe I'm eating my own words here. Healthcare is the leading quarterly. Check this out. Healthcare is the leading quarterly sector to the downside right now. I think that merits a little bit more of a position here. So you're getting sector outflows. Let me double check something. I'm going to look at ETF exposure with Pfizer and double check. Man, Pfizer's in a lot of different ETFs. Imagine that. 45 million shares are held within XLV with a 5.47 weight. Hey man, this is actually not a bad setup. Okay, I eat my words. I don't know if it's an A+ yet. I don't fucking love it, but I think that there's a play here on Pfizer. Yeah, I think there's a play. RSI has been range bound below the 50 since the end of July. Bearish momentum regime for over 4 weeks straight. You're pressing into a new low. Horizontal level being broken to the downside off this is, what is this, 46.30 area. Yeah, I think this merits. Yeah, why not? It's a cheap play. You don't need to load contracts by any means. You're getting a risk level that you can easily identify. So if you're wrong, you get out somewhere around 46.50, 47. You should still have some value left on those contracts. And a profit target of somewhere around 42.5. I'm going to draw this up really quick. And you don't have to hold for the full move if you don't feel comfortable doing that, but something like that makes total sense to me. 42.5 to get in the money from a level perspective. It might even be a little bit lower than 42.5, but I think 42.5 is a more conservative price target. That risk to reward, essentially you're either breaking here today, you might get a minor pullback tomorrow, maybe, but this is a sub 1 RVOL move, so statistically don't bet on it. I think that if you get back up near 46.85, this was a failed breakdown, you get out. But as of right now, if you get in off this pivot at 46.29, we're currently below that, so this risk to reward is not going to be perfect. But if how this trade is drawn up, it's a 6.94 to 1 risk to reward. So you're getting out at around 46.85. You're getting in 46.27, and you're looking for a 42.5 move off the 42.5 October puts. For $80 right now, 42.540 put debit spread for 39 bucks. I don't love the put debit spread as much as I love the puts. I think the put debit spread is reaching pretty far out there. Anyway, there's the full idea. Be aware of headline risk when it comes to pharmaceuticals. And let me know if anybody takes that so I can draw it up in charts and setups. One of you guys bought it. So I'm going to draw it up. Even if you don't tell me, I know it's you. I know somebody just bought that in here. You can see it on the fucking chart. Okay, we got about 10 minutes left. Are there any questions on open positions or positions that you are currently looking at opening? I want to make sure everyone's taken care of. I'll go ahead and stop the stream here about 10 minutes.